I just want you to take a little quick look at some previous videos I've done over, not too long ago time period. It looks like last year and probably before that too. Guess the state, 63,000 public employees with 100K salaries, cost taxpayers 10 billion. Illinois budget deal, catastrophic for the budget, underfunded pensions, Illinois tax rate, I've got one for you today that I thought this is fake. Wait a minute, zero hedge. No, it's still fake. There's something fake about this. Has to be. Get ready for this. And now, remember, that was one of the first states the uber wealthy were fleeing in droves down to Florida and elsewhere. We're out of here. You're going to raise tax. We see where this is going. We're taking our business, all of it, and we are out of here. Steve Reich, he's out. Zero hedge. An audible gasp was heard when the Chicago Federal Reserve, that is, unveiled its solution to the pension problem. You're going to love it. You homeowners, you people who are about to be stuck in your houses forever in Illinois, you're going to love this in the worst kind of way. Submitted by Mark Glennon of WirePoints, which is wirepoints.com. An audible gasp went out, and let me hang on. Give me 1 second here. Let's do this little thing over here. Put this over here, and I can close that over here and here, and I can close my mail Outlook. That is. An audible gasp went out in the break room I was in at last month's pension event, co-sponsored by the Civic Federation at the Federal Reserve Bank of Chicago. That was when a speaker from the Chicago Fed proposed levying across the state, and in addition to current property taxes, a special property assessment they estimate would be about 1% of actual property value each year for 30 years. Evidently, that wasn't reality shock enough. This week, the Chicago Fed published that proposal formally in its link right here, which, sure enough, goes to the Fed blogs. It surely ranks among the most blatantly inhumane. Hang on, let me lower my little phone here. It surely ranks among the most blatantly inhumane and foolish ideas we've seen yet. Homeowners with houses worth $250K would pay an additional $2,500 per year in property taxes. What's that? $200 a month, right? $100 a month, 12 months. That's $1,200. Double it. $200 a month. For what? You guys buying us a jet ski? Make payments on it? No. Motorcycle? No. Vacation? No. You're paying us. We need the extra money. We need money. Homeowners with houses worth $250,000 would pay an additional $2,500 per year in property taxes. Those with homes worth $500,000 would pay an additional $5,000. So if you got a $500,000 house, you're paying not $100, not $200, not $300, but about $400 a month extra in taxes. Why? For what? Because we've got crooks, criminals running the government in Chicago. In Illinois, but Chicago. Oh wait, Rahm Emanuel's there, isn't he? Mayor. But anyways, they're gonna put $5,000 a month, and it gets better. And those with homes worth $1 million would pay an additional $10,000 in property taxes. That's nearing, what is that, $800 a month? What did I get out of this? Nothing. Well, I'm leaving. I'm out of here. Okay, put your house up for sale. I bet there's a whole bunch of people wanting to move into the area, looking forward to paying outrageously high taxes. Now, let me tell you what the solution is. Dear pensioners, we effing lied to you from day one. All pensions are the same. There's never enough money. The people that manage them have failed. They always fail. And even if they didn't fail, we never get the return we need anyways. It in itself is a failure. But we wanted to promise you that to get elected. But now that I've taken my multi-million-dollar golden parachute on my way out of this fantastic office I've held for years, you guys have to, the new people have to deal with it. Well, the solution, honestly, is sorry, pensioners, you were lied to. You were lied to. It's like a Ponzi scheme. The government doesn't come out and bail you out of a Ponzi scheme. You got had, sorry about your luck. The pension system is a Ponzi scheme. It's a textbook definition of a Ponzi scheme. Therefore, pensioners, we love you, but we're going to throw a JSNP 4 piece of advice at you. Get the F out of that pension. We're going to settle with you for absolutely horrible pennies on the dollar of what you thought you had coming. You take that and you invest into cryptocurrencies. You'll make up every penny of it. Actually, they're not going to do that. They wouldn't dare. But that's the solution to fix it. For the people have to fix it themselves. But the solution is, sorry, we're not raising taxes on everybody because the money's not there. More people are going to be fleeing Chicago and Illinois like you've never seen before. It's already happened. I was covering it last year. It is not going to get better. Is the Chicago Fed blind to human consequences? Confiscatory property tax rates have already robbed hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of Illinois families of their home equity, probably the lion's share of whatever wealth they had, past tense. Property taxes in many Illinois communities already exceed 3, 4, and even 5% of home values across Illinois. The average is a sky-high 2.67%, which, by the way, ready? Highest in the nation. New York is second place. New Hampshire third. New Jersey fourth. And surprisingly, Texas is fifth place at 2.17. No kidding. Stars at night are not quite big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas. We were just doing that at my sister's house today. Went over there. My dad was there. Mom was there. Everybody was there. And I don't know, we were talking about some movies or something. And I was like, all right, what's this one, Dad? The stars at night are big and bright. And he picked up his hand and goes, deep in the heart of Texas. Pee Wee Herman, the first movie. Anyways, back to some serious stuff here. In South Cook County, they already average over 5%. Most of these communities are working class, often African American. The Fed says maybe you could make the tax progressive by exempting lower values, but that's very difficult to do. And if you did somehow exempt the poor and working class, the bill pushed to the others would be astronomical. Those rates have already plunged many communities into death spirals, demanding an immediate solution. But the Chicago Fed apparently wants to pour on more of the accelerant, fuel to the fire. Don't they understand that people won't build on or improve property when property taxes are that high? When taxes are 3% to 6%, any value you add to your home is going to be taxed at that high rate forever. Have they never been to our communities with countless disrepaired, abandoned homes and commercial properties, which are the result? Get this, which is part of the Fed's reasoning. New taxes won't affect people thinking of moving to Illinois. If you think you want to go there, new taxes won't affect you. While they would have to pay higher property taxes, that would be offset by not having to pay as much for their new homes. Really? So because people are walking and running from their houses and taking anything they can get? Is that what they're trying to say here? What the hell is this? New taxes wouldn't affect people thinking of moving to Illinois. While they would have to pay higher property taxes, that would be offset by not having to pay as much for their new homes. In addition, current homeowners would not be able to avoid the new tax by selling their homes and moving because home prices should reflect the new tax burden quickly. Like I just said, think you're going to move out? So guess what you're going to do? Those of you that are dealing with this, I'm going to tell you what you're going to do. I know a guy, you might be looking at him right now, who saw this kind of issue, 2005, 6, 7, okay, 8 rolls around, crash. We gave loans to people who never should have got them. We didn't even see if they had a job. They crashed the housing market. It was their fault. No, it wasn't. It was the bank's fault. Fed bailout time. You didn't get it. I didn't get it. The banks got it. And they got the houses that were foreclosed. They got it all. I know someone who said, F that. I will not take that lying down. And I stayed in my house for 5 years. I didn't pay that effing bank a dime. And then they settled with me to stop fighting them. Don't fight us anymore. We'll give you some cash. You just leave. We're happy. You pay your lawyer bill. We pay ours. We're not, and we won't even come after you for deficiency. We'll let it ride. Really? Okay. 5 years? I'll take that. And then they sold the loan to another company who then starts sending me letters. You owe us this money for this mortgage. And I reply to them, no the F I don't. Prove it. I dispute this debt. Prove I owe the debt. I had an agreement with the bank that gave that to you. I am not any longer responsible for that. Here's their lawyer. Here's their phone number. Here's their address. They kept sending me letters. I filed a complaint with the credit bureaus, who promptly looked into it, sent me a letter back a few weeks later. We couldn't find anything wrong with your credit report, so we can't look into it. Excuse me? I sent you copies and screenshots of my credit report. And not only the first bank hitting my credit, which was expected, but the second bank. But the first bank, you're in breach of contract. Second bank, you're not even allowed to do that because I don't know that no more. I log into my credit report, wiped clean. 760 something credit score. What? No kidding. Not only did they wipe the second one off, which I expected, but they wiped the first one off. Don't take it lying down. It's your effing house. You worked hard to have that damn thing. Don't take it lying down. Oh, you want to tax me? Go for it. I'm walking. Or I'm going to pull a J-snip. I'll stay here as long as I can and fight it. Get my lawyer, pay him his little fee. Have a nice day. See how that works out. Now the bank can't get the house. The government can't collect their taxes over there. It's going to be brutal. But this is what happens when you have these liberals in charge. This is what happens. And yes, Rahm Emanuel's up, head honcho of Chicago. Imagine that. One of Obama's flunkies. In other words, just confiscate wealth from current owners because they will pay, whether they stay or not, through an immediate reduction in home value. This proposed tax would only address the 5 state pensions. What about the other 650 plus pensions in Illinois? Particularly those for overlapping jurisdictions in, you guessed it, Chicago, which are grossly underfunded. The Fed was asked that at last month's seminar, and they, without explanation, said they didn't bother to cover that. Yeah, we don't want a little sore subject. We don't want to talk about that. See, if it has to do with rising prices of food or anything energy, we just simply say, oh, we don't include those in our metrics for inflation. When we give you the inflation numbers, we don't include food. We don't include your clothing or any, not even really clothing, but the main things you need to look at to determine is there inflation happening? Is stuff getting more expensive? We don't look at any of that stuff. What do you look at? Things like how long it takes a piece of grass to grow. How long has that tree been standing there? I'm kidding, but in all seriousness, they don't look at the things they're supposed to. And they've changed it. Oh, I remember a 20-year period I used to look at it all the time. Every single year, the Fed changed what it looked at to determine inflation. Every year for like 20 years. Well, that's no good anymore. Because next year, that thing is going to show we got inflation that we don't want to show. Take that out of the metric. Kind of like the Dow Jones, right? They got the groups of companies. That one is sucking. You're bringing the price down. Get that company out of here. We're going to put Apple. Apple, you're in. Oh, Apple, you're sucking. You're out. GE, come on, GE, you're in now. Good. Put me in, coach. What is this? A fun house, Wonka? Why, having fun? Having fun paying your $10,000 extra a year if you live in $1 million house? Or $500,000 house, you're paying $5,000 a year? I've earlier met Rick Mattoon, one of the Chicago Fed authors of the proposal. He's a smart, likable guy who I thought had lots of interesting information. For the life of me, however, I can't understand how he would put his name on this proposal. Property can't leave, so seize it. That's the basic idea. Unfreaking believable. Take care.